Wow, I think I just watched the best animated film of the year. Holy shit. Hey everyone, welcome to the review. Here's my review for the movie Kubo and the Two Strings. Yes, Kubo and the Two Strings is the new animated stop-motion animated movie from Laika Studios. And if you know Laika Studios, they made movies like Coraline, The Box Trolls, Paranorman, and I'm pretty sure they did Corpse Bride as well. And yeah, this is their new installment, the movie Kubo and the Two Strings. This movie's directed by Travis Knight, and this movie is co-written by Chris Butler, who wrote and directed Paranorman. And this movie stars Art Parkinson, Charlize Theron, Matthew McConaughey, Ralph Fiennes, Takei and Rooney Mara, and yes, this is a new stop-motion animated movie from Laika Studios, and this movie, I could say right now, is very fresh, very original, visually stunning, beautifully animated movie, and a very different movie from Laika Studios, because if you've seen a lot of Laika Studios movies, they try to go more darker and also very more creepy, more Halloween-themed sort of movies like, Coraline, Box Trolls, Paranorman, Corpse Bride. They're all very dark, gothic, spooky movies. This one is different. This goes more of the Japanese samurai story sort of route. I thought that was very cool and very different for this studio to do something different like that. And yeah, I was highly anticipating this movie. When I saw the trailers, it looked amazing, and after seeing this movie, I said it right there, this movie is the best animated movie I have seen this year. I had to think pretty hard about this statement, because I wasn't going to say this, but I think I have to say it, because, yeah, I just have to say it. Kubo and the Two Strings is an animated masterpiece. You heard it here, folks. This movie is a masterpiece. I loved this movie just as much as I loved Paranorman. And if you guys know me well enough, you should know that I love Paranorman. Paranorman is my favorite stop-motion animated movie of all time. That is my favorite stop-motion animated movie. It's in my top 10 favorite animated movies of all time. It's right there with Fantasia, Beauty and the Beast, Up, Spirited Away, When Marnie Was There, just Secret of Nim, just all my favorite animated movies, my top 10. Paranorman is right there, and now this movie is there. This movie is a tie with Paranorman. This movie is just as good as Paranorman. I loved every movie Laika Studios has done. I love Coraline, I love The Box Trolls, I love Corpse Bride, but Paranorman was always my favorite movie that they did, and now Kubo and the Two Strings is just as good. I was blown away by this movie. Like when I first saw Paranorman, I saw Paranorman 3 times in theaters. I'm probably going to go see this movie 3 times in theaters. I'm going to see it again tomorrow because this movie just amazed me. The animation, the characters, the story, the writing, everything about this movie just gripped me. And I don't know if I want to explain the plot of this movie because to go into details of the story, I would have to spoil anything, and I would have to spoil some things. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that because there's a lot of twists in this movie, and I don't want to spoil that. So basically, all I can say is it's about a little boy named Kubo, and basically his dad was a famous samurai, and basically he goes on a journey with a beetle and a monkey, played by Charlize Theron and Matthew McConaughey, and basically he has to find these 3 legendary items, a sword, a helmet, and an armor, and basically he has to defeat this Moon King, this villain and stuff, who, I don't even want to say who he is, but he has to defeat him, and, to save his people, and to save his family and stuff, and I think that's all I can say. I can't give away the story because a lot of things happen in this movie, and there's some twists in this movie, and I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, this movie is absolutely amazing. Everything about this movie just worked. It worked so freaking well. Stop motion animation in this movie is, it's so good. The animation design is absolutely stunning. I love stop motion. Stop motion is one of my favorite types of animation. That and hand-drawn. I love hand-drawn and stop motion because it's more effort. CGI, it looks nice when it's really expensive, but when it's cheap looking, it looks ugly as shit. See, that's why I always say go stop motion, because it looks nice and it's so much more creative and you put more effort into stop motion, and This movie looked amazing. The characters looked amazing. The worlds they designed were amazing. The water scenes looked fantastic. Some of these big temples, they all looked so amazing, so extravagant. It was so good. I loved the designs in this movie, the colors, the designs, the textures, just absolutely gorgeous. And I loved these characters. These characters are such amazing characters. The lead character, Kubo, is such a likable lead character. You love to root for him. You feel bad for him. Right when the movie begins, you automatically feel a connection with him. You feel so much sympathy for him, and you feel bad for his mother, and you just instantly connected to this character. And the voice acting, it was fantastic. The kid that plays him is Art Parkinson. Yes, that's the actor from Game of Thrones. Yes, he plays Rigon Stark. Yes, Rigon Stark is Kubo, and he does an amazing job. And I loved this character. He was such a likable lead character, and you just loved rooting for him. And the show stealers were obviously Monkey and Beetle, voiced by Charlize Theron and Matthew McConaughey. They're both beautifully designed, especially the monkey. The design on that monkey is absolutely fantastic. And Charlize Theron and Matthew McConaughey were both great. They both were very comedic, and they were also really badass and really extremely likable characters. I loved both of them, and when you find out who both of them are, it was a really good twist and I didn't see coming. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. And the villain in this movie, played by Ray Fiennes, the Moon King, he's not a big villain, but I did enjoy his character and what happens to his character. His character arc is very different, very unique, and it basically how this entire movie wraps up is such a cool, very unique, and very fresh way to end a film, and I freaking loved it. I love the story of this movie. I love the mythology this movie talks about. The side stories are all great. The legends they keep talking about. Everything about this movie is just fascinating. It's fascinating. The writing for this movie is just brilliant, but it's co-written by Chris Butler, so we know the writing for this movie would be amazing. But Travis Knight's direction was fantastic. How this movie is executed is absolutely brilliant. And I loved how this movie is dark, so all audience members will love it. I think kids will love this movie, but I also think adults will love this movie. When I saw this movie in theaters, there was no kids in the theater. Yeah, it was actually, sadly, it was sort of an empty theater. I was in the theater with me, my brother, and like 12 other people, and all 12 of those people were all older. They were either 20-year-olds, and a few of them were like 60-year-olds. So for a theater of 12 people, it was all adults seeing this movie, no kids. So yeah, I think maybe more adults will probably like this movie more, which is cool, but this movie is intended for everybody. I think kids will love it, and I think adults will love it, and that right there, that's what makes a terrific animated movie. Be good for kids and adults. That's what makes it so brilliant and amazing. I loved it. The atmosphere in this movie is fantastic. There's so many scenes that just blew me away. The action is so awesome. The adventure side feels so whimsical and exciting. It felt like I was a kid again at times watching this movie. This movie just blew me away. Everything about this movie was so freaking well done. I love the story, characters, direction, writing. Everything that this movie did was done so freaking well. I also love Rooney Mara in this movie as these twin sisters who creep the ever-loving shit out of me. I think younger kids might get scared of Rooney Mara in this movie. She's a scary girl anyway, so like watching Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Elizabeth Sander, that's a scary bitch, but she's terrifying in this movie and she does a fantastic job. There's some great imagery, there's some great frightening images, frightening scenes, and they all just work. There is not a dull moment in this movie from start to finish. You're just gripped by this movie, and it's just done so freaking well. I can tell there was so much creativity and passion put into this movie, and it just shows. It is such a great movie. This is hands down the best animated movie of the year, and that is saying a lot because I have seen a lot of terrific animated movies like Finding Dory, Zootopia, Kung Fu Panda 3, The Boy and the Beast, all amazing animated movies, but this is by far my favorite animated movie, and I highly recommend this movie. This movie is sensational. I loved it. Please go see this movie. Please go pay money to see it, because this movie I just saw the results for the box office. This movie was like number 3 or 4. This movie should have been number 1. It should have made way more money than War Dogs and Ben-Hur. This movie needs to make money. It really does, because Leica Studios is a very underrated studio, and their movies need to make more money. So people, please, go pay money to see this movie. I'm going a second time to pay money to see this movie, because I know this movie deserves people's money. This movie deserves to make a lot of money, but it probably won't, because for some stupid reason, stop-motion animated movies don't make a lot of money, which is dumb. People, please, go see this movie. It's amazing. So yeah, of course, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give the movie Kubo and the Two Strings a 10 out of 10. This movie is so freaking good. Please, go watch it. So yeah, that was my review for the movie Kubo and the Two Strings. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, what is your favorite movie by Leica Studios? This is my favorite with Paranorman, but what is your favorite? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.